What is up, guys? Welcome back to another Fantasy Football 5 and 5, and in today's video we're going to be covering the top 5 tips for being a fantasy football commissioner. Alright, so coming in at tip number 1, we have invite people that you trust and you know will be active. Alright, so this is a very important part of your league. So I've had several times that I've invited people to play and they're like, yeah, I want to play fantasy football. And they join your league and they do nothing for the fantasy football season at all. And there's no fun for anybody else in the league having them there. So whenever you're inviting your friends, make good decisions on who you invite. Not people that say they want to play, but you know that they will be active and will be a fun member to your fantasy football league. Alright, coming in at tip number 2, we have don't edit scoring. Alright, so once you become a manager, there's going to be all these tempting things you can change in your league, and one of them is the scoring. So that means you can edit how much points different things are worth in your fantasy season. Unless you know exactly what you're doing and you're an expert with scoring, do not mess with this at all. This is a huge mistake I see a lot of people make. They'll make catching a ball worth way too many fantasy points, and they'll throw their entire fantasy football season under the bus because no one's having fun because the players and the scoring are all out of whack. So don't mess with that unless you know what you're doing. But yeah, generally speaking, do not change the scoring in your league. Alright, at tip number 3, we have interact with your community. Alright, so this is an important part of keeping your community engaged with your fantasy football season. So if you're not having fun with fantasy football, I'm not going to play it. Like, if I don't like something in life, I'm not going to spend my time and invest my time in it. If you want dedicated members to have fun in your league and to be active in your league, you're going to need to interact with them. For example, I have a GroupMe that I invite anybody that wants to be in my league to be in it so we can discuss the fantasy football leagues, laugh, have some fun in there, and that will encourage them to stay active in my league. So if you guys want your people in your league to stay active, I would encourage 100% interacting with them. Alright, coming in at tip number 4, we have set your draft date well ahead of time. Alright, this is a very big mistake that I myself has even made. I have come up and been like, oh, a fantasy football draft, I can do that on Saturday. And then I'll go text everybody and half of them can't do it on Saturday. And I'll say, what about Sunday? And then by the time we get to the season, it's too late. Set your draft date well ahead of time. Make sure that date works for everybody else. They can clear their calendar for that draft date. Because if people cannot come draft, that means auto draft will draft their team and they're not going to get to pick their own players, which makes them way less likely to actually stay in the league and become active in the league, which is what obviously the goal is as a commissioner, for everybody to have fun in your league. So set your draft date ahead of time, let everyone in your league know when that's going to happen so they can be prepared for that. And yeah, setting your draft date ahead of time is just very important, so just do it. Alright, coming in at tip number 5, we have don't abuse commish powers. Alright, being the commissioner of the league comes with great power, and we all know the saying,
with great power comes great responsibility.
Alright, so there's so much stuff you can do as the commissioner of a league. You can change the other team's names. You can decide what pick you want to have in the draft. You can edit the scoring, like I said, to make whatever you have, your strategy, worth way more points than theirs. You can do so much stuff in your league. None of it is worth it, though. Do not cheat in your league to give yourself an advantage over your opponents. Make sure you keep the playing field even, and it will be so much more fun for all the people in your fantasy football league. So just generally speaking, don't abuse your commissioner powers. You can use them for good, just don't use them for your advantage. Alright, well that's my list of my top 5 commissioner tips. If I missed any tips that you guys have, leave them in the comments below to help everybody else out with their fantasy football leagues. But yeah, that's pretty much my video. If you guys want to see any more top 5 fantasy football videos, I got a playlist right over there. You can go watch some of those. And yeah, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.